Are born just a little bit different than their usual counterparts, from a four-legged duck to a cat with two faces. Join us as we count 10 bizarre animal mutations.
Number 10.
Stumpy the four-legged duck. In 2007 in the UK, a duckling was born at Warrawee Duck Farm, but this was no ordinary duckling. Stumpy was born with 4 legs, but unfortunately his additional limbs could not be used for walking. Instead, they just hung behind its 2 main legs. They did, however, help it remain stable when it was younger. Stumpy was kept in a pen after birth because his owner feared that his extra limbs would get caught in shrubs. One of its extra legs did end up getting caught in a fence and had to be removed by a vet. The second one also turned black and fell off, leaving Stumpy with 2 stumps where the extra legs had been.
Number 9.
Octogoat, the 8-legged goat. When Zoran Paparic, a farmer in Croatia, saw one of the kids his goat Saka had given birth to, he had to call a neighbor to help confirm that he wasn't going crazy. The kid had 8 legs, and both male and female organs. Local vets believe that the goat, named Octogoat, absorbed its undeveloped twin while still in the womb. Octogoat was born with 2 other kids which were normal. Its mother, which Zoran had owned for 4 years, had also given birth to normal triplets on 4 different occasions. Even with its 8 legs, Octogoat did not have the strength to stand and couldn't walk, proving that 8 legs aren't necessarily better than 4. It was believed that Octogoat wouldn't survive for the first week after birth, and even if it did, it's unlikely to live for more than 2 to 3 years. Zoran said that he would make Octogoat his pet if it survived. The goat's current state is unknown.
Number 8.
Faith, the 2-legged dog. At birth, Faith suffered from a brain defect which didn't allow for the full development of her front legs. She couldn't walk and had been rejected by her mother, a homeless dog which had tried to kill her. She was found by 17-year-old Reuben Stringfellow, who gave her to his mother. Her 2 front legs later began to weaken and had to be amputated. Left with only 2 hind legs, Faith was taught how to stand, walk, hop, and run. Today, Faith walks on her hind legs just like a human being. She has met with several celebrities and has even appeared on The Oprah Show. She has visited several military bases and hospitals where she serves as a form of encouragement for injured soldiers and veterans. She has even been made an honorary sergeant in the US Army and was considered for a role in the 4th Harry Potter movie, The Goblet of Fire.
Number 7.
Way, the 2-headed albino rat snake. Black rat snakes are usually all black except for their chins, which are white. But one black rat snake called Way isn't black, it's an albino. It also has 2 heads and both male and female organs. Way was purchased by the World Aquarium in St. Louis from its owner for $15,000 when it was just a few weeks old back in 1999. Way was visited by more than 1 million people over the years before its death at the age of 8. The 2-headed snake would often try to move in different directions at the same time. World Aquarium also tried breeding it with another 2-headed snake but was unsuccessful. The snake hit international fame in 2006 when World Aquarium tried auctioning it for $150,000. The auction was unsuccessful, but Way was adopted by Nutrapharma, a biotechnology company which is into the production of drugs for HIV and multiple sclerosis. 2-headed snakes generally have a very low survival rate in the wild. The 2 heads are known to fight each other for food, and in some cases will attempt to eat each other. Only one 2-headed black snake is known to have lived for 20 years.
Number 6.
Froggy, the 3-headed frog. While mutant frogs are not totally unheard of, one with 3 heads is still incredibly rare. A mutant frog with 3 heads and 6 legs was found in the garden of Green Umbrella Nursery in the UK in 2004. The discovery was made by a student who had just been dropped off at the nursery on a Thursday morning. The students at the nursery initially thought it was 3 frogs cuddling with each other, but were surprised when it turned out to be 1 frog. School staff captured the frog and put it in a tank. By Friday morning, the frog was discovered to have escaped. Froggy's eyes and legs seemed to function normally, but it is unknown whether its 3 mouths were also fully functional. A professor of biology at the Open University said that although mutant frogs have been reported for about 200 years, one with 3 heads and 6 legs is completely unheard of. The mutation could be due to parasites, pollution, or genetic mutation. Some people believe that the mutation is an after effect of the decommissioned Hinkley nuclear power station, which is 19 kilometers away from the Green Umbrella Nursery.
Number 5.
Squittens. Squittens come from the words squirrel and kitten and were once thought to be the product of a squirrel and a cat. This is because they have short front paws and usually have to stand on their hind legs like squirrels. In reality, they're cats who are affected by a mutation called radial hyperplasia, or RH, which stops their front paws from becoming fully developed. In mild cases of RH, the cats still make use of their front paws to hop like rabbits. In moderate cases, they hunt with their hind legs and may even use their tail to balance, just like kangaroos. In severe cases of RH, they move entirely with their hind legs and look like squirrels when standing upright. They are also sometimes called dinosaur cats or kangaroo cats. Squittens encounter problems with climbing, particularly when coming out of trees. They also have problems when descending from stairs, and some have even been observed descending backwards.
Number 4.
Rudy, the two-headed pig. A pig called Rudy has 2 heads, 2 snouts, 2 ears, and 3 eyes. The middle eye, which is where the 2 heads meet, is blind. It was purchased from its owner for $5,000 by animal rescue groups Pigs Without Partners, who renamed it Ditto. Only one of Ditto's snouts was functional, and it had to wear a little helmet in case it fell over. Its whole life, Ditto had problems walking, and had to use a special walker to get around. It had only began learning how to use its 2 front legs when it died in 1998, just 2 months after getting to Pigs Without Partners. Before its death, it had become unstable, and had a habit of falling on its left side. Its face was preserved to help research facial deformities in children. A pig with a similar condition was born in China in 2003.
Number 3.
Kenny the white tiger. Kenny was a white tiger who was rescued along with his brother Willie, a normal orange-coated tiger, by Turpentine Creek Wildlife Reserve in Arkansas in 2000. Kenny was mentally disabled and had a deformed face which prevented him from shutting his mouth properly. Willie, on the other hand, was cross-eyed. Kenny's and Willie's parents are siblings who were made to mate by a breeder who hoped to get a white tiger. The breeder later gave up on the 2 brothers after he encountered difficulty selling him due to their deformities. White tigers don't exist naturally. The only way to produce them is by breeding closely related tigers through generations until the right mutation occurs. Most are born with health problems and physical deformities. The gene that causes their coats to become white also causes the optic nerve to become connected to the wrong side of the brain, making all white tigers cross-eyed. They also suffer from cleft palates, club feet, immune deficiencies, and deformities in their spines and organs. In fact, most white tigers are stillborn, and those who aren't typically die early. Kenny died of cancer in 2008.
Number 2.
Polydactyl cats. Polydactylism is when an animal has more than the normal number of toes. It is most common in cats, which normally have 5 toes in each of their front paws and 4 at the back. Polydactyl cats, however, have more than that. Jake, a male tabby cat from Canada, is recognized as the cat with the most toes. He has a whopping 28 toes, 7 on each foot. Polydactylism, which means many-fingered, is more common among cats in England, Wales, eastern US and Canada than anywhere else in the world. President Theodore Roosevelt had one called Slippers. Unlike many other mutations, polydactylism is actually an advantage. People generally love the look of polydactyl cats, and the cats have been known to use their extra toes to open windows and latches.
Number 1.
Frank and Louie, the two-faced cat. Frank and Louie is the name of a cat with 1 head, 2 faces, and 3 eyes. Their mutation is called diprosopia, or cranifocal duplication, a very rare type of mutation that causes an animal or human being to have 2 faces on 1 head. Cats affected with this mutation are also called Janus cats, after Janus, the Roman god of transitions, gates and doorways, who's depicted as having 2 faces. Though diprosopia has often been recorded in cats, most do not live past a couple of days. Frank and Louie, on the other hand, turned 12 years old on September the 8th, 2011, earning them a place in the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's oldest Janus cats. They are owned by Marty Stevens, a veterinary technician who adopted them after their owner brought them to the clinic where she worked to have them euthanized. The cats have 1 brain, and their middle eye, which is also their biggest eye, does not function. They eat with Frank's face, since Louie's face does not have a lower jaw and is not connected to their esophagus.